All right, guys. So we already went over some of the ethics codes. We're going to continue here on ethics code 1.06. And this states a lot of different things. So we're going to break it down little by little. The first thing it talks about shares with us is that RBTs provide behavior technician services only after their supervisor confirms that they have demonstrated competence. So as stated before, our supervisor as RBTs is supposed to be our partner. This is your coworker. This is the person that is working with you to essentially better the life of your client or whoever you are working with, providing services to. You can only be implementing something written on the plan if your supervisor has seen you demonstrate it. So a couple things can happen depending on where you work. Let's say you start working at an agency and this specific agency provides you with the behavior plan prior to going to your client's house. Prior to you showing up to your client's house, especially if this is the protocol of the agency that you're working at, you should go over this behavior plan. You should want to know what you're walking into prior to getting there and essentially meeting with your supervisor. You want to be able to have questions ready for them. If you do not speak up for yourself and say, hey, look, I don't understand this, I don't have experience in this, the supervisor might just assume that you understand that. So maybe they'll just go over it briefly and not fully explain what you're supposed to know. So that's why it's super important for your supervisor to watch you demonstrate what is on the behavior plan. So sometimes this can come off as like your supervisor's being mean or something, and they're constantly asking you to demonstrate stuff. It is part of their job, and you should want to show them how you're implementing things because we don't know everything. Even if you're an RBT and you've been working for a couple years, sometimes we learn bad habits. It's human nature. Your supervisor is there to make sure that if you have learned any bad habits, they're able to guide you away from them. So next part of this ethics code is they work with their supervisor to continuously evaluate their competence. So this is where teamwork comes in. You're letting your supervisor know, hey, I tried to implement this the other day with our client and it didn't go like I thought. This and this happened. What should I do next time? Or, hey, next time you come in to supervise me, can you watch me demonstrate this procedure and you can give me some corrective feedback, and vice versa. This is what should be going on in the 5% of your supervision hours. Or whenever it is that you are supposed to meet with your supervisor, this is what should be going on. Lots of questions being asked, as well as lots of answers being given. If an RBT identifies that they're being asked to do something that goes beyond the scope of their certification or competence, they immediately inform their supervisor or other appropriate individuals at their place of employment and document this communication. So what does that mean? You're working with your supervisor, you're working with your client, and your supervisor tells you to do something that you know you're not supposed to be doing. That's one. And two, that you have no experience doing whatsoever. So just because your supervisor tells you to do something does not make it okay for you to do it if you know you're not supposed to, and if you know you have no experience doing it. So this ethics code is here to actually protect you. This ethics code is here for you to be able to call out your supervisor and for them to even feel a little bit pressured, like, hey, you know you're not supposed to be asking me to do that. And there's an ethics code to protect that, to protect you, the RBT. This is what this is here for. When you communicate something like that to your supervisor, you also want to document it. You want to send out an email. You want to let human resources or wherever it is that you're working, people need to know that this happened. You can't just, I'm not going to report it or I'm not going to document it because my supervisor is so nice. No, you want to document it. This ethics code was made for a reason. Don't just brush it off. So Ethics Code 1.07 is RBTs work directly with their supervisor to ensure that they're culturally responsive in their work. They actively work to evaluate their own biases and ability to work with individuals in these diverse needs and backgrounds. Sorry, that was like a little bit of a tongue twister for me. And the board went above and beyond to even write out some specific examples that we should not be being biased or feel the need to pressure someone to do what we say just because that's our own bias or that's our own belief. We are in the field of working for others' improvements. We're not in the field of making someone do what we say just because we think or we assume that that is the best for them. And obtain any needed training in these areas under the direction of their supervisor. Next is RBTs do not harass or discriminate against others. So this is your clients and your coworkers. We are a team. If someone in that team is not on the same page as you, or you're not on the same page as them, you're going to only harm one person, and that is the client. It is very normal for people to get selfish. It's also just in our human nature. We want to avoid that. We want to always think about our clients. We have to benefit our clients always. So if you and your supervisor or another RBT possibly working with you are not getting along, that's definitely going to affect the treatment. That's going to affect the quality of your work. It's completely going to affect everything. So you want to avoid those. You want to be respectful. You want to be nice, a team player. So many things fall into this category, but don't just brush it off. All of these ethics codes are extremely boring to read over, but they're here for a reason. And then we have Ethics Code 1.09, and its RBTs are aware of their personal biases or challenges. So this is any mental or physical health conditions, legal, financial, marital relationships, challenges that may impact their ability to effectively carry out their behavior technician services. If their biases or challenges may impact services, they take the steps to resolve the issue. So we're humans. Everyone has problems. I've yet to meet one person that is not struggling with something. So this ethics code is here saying that we are always going to be going through stuff, but we have to know when to take a step back or when to know that too much is going on in our personal life, whether it's health or, like it states, anything else, and it's going to affect your work quality or you're going to be biased about a specific situation. You want to share that. You want to share that with your supervisor, and you want to take the steps necessary to refrain from working with that client, or for that bias of yours to be shared, and maybe something else can occur to fix that situation. You never want to just disregard it or assume that you can deal with that bias or that situation on your own. It is okay to bring to light whatever is going on in your personal life or whatever happened in your personal life for you to not be able to effectively carry out services. You have to be able to share this and not just be like, okay, I really want a job, so I'm just gonna keep going and deal with my personal biases on my own. No, it will turn around and bite you, you know where. This is also here for a reason. You might think that, oh, I don't need to do that. I'm not going to be that therapist. I could just do my job and separate personal and job. If you can, that's great for you, but you have to know when it's going to affect your work. So that's all that this is stating.